Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the exciting, high-stakes world of food entrepreneurship. We're going to take a really close look at what separates the brands that become household staples from the ones that, just quietly disappear from the shelves. It's a dynamic industry where innovation moves incredibly fast, and getting it right, well, that requires a very specific recipe.
So let's get right into it. Have you ever wondered why some new products literally fly off the shelves and create this massive buzz, while others, even the ones that honestly taste amazing, just kind of flatline? Seriously, what is the secret ingredient behind every successful food brand? The answer isn't just a magical flavor profile or some lucky marketing campaign. The true secret ingredient is decoding and deeply understanding consumer insights. To get us there, we are going to follow a step-by-step framework. Think of this as our recipe for today. We'll start with the consumer versus the market, look at the tools to decode the market, identify what consumers want now, see how that feeds into crafting the product concept, and finally, wrap up with prototyping and testing. All right, part one, the consumer versus the market.
It's absolutely crucial that we draw a line between consumer behavior and broader market trends. They are connected, for sure, but they definitely aren't the same thing. Consumer behavior looks at the individual, right? It asks how one specific person's income level influences what they buy, how much they buy, and why. For example, someone with a lower income might prioritize essential, lower-cost foods purely out of necessity. Market trends, on the other hand, look at the big picture. This is how broad shifts in consumer income impact product demand across entire segments. So if there's a general increase in disposable income across a demographic, that might drive the rapid growth of a whole new category, like premium plant-based protein snacks.
But hey, income is just one piece of the puzzle. What's truly fascinating is how an individual's cultural background acts like this invisible hand, guiding us down the grocery aisle.
Think about it. Culture dictates pretty much everything, from our baseline food preferences, what we eat and how we prep it, to how we spend our hard-earned money. It shapes whether we're hunting for budget deals or paying extra for brand prestige. And it goes even deeper, completely framing our purchase decisions and health perceptions. I mean, a cultural lens determines whether we view organic foods as an absolute essential or just a marketing gimmick. Even advertising hinges on this. A campaign relying on a certain type of humor might resonate perfectly in one culture, but just completely miss the mark in another.
And right alongside culture, health consciousness is another massive behavioral driver. Consumers these days are heavily focused on choices like organic, low-fat, or fortified products. This awareness totally shifts brand loyalty toward trusted wellness brands and actually increases people's willingness to pay a premium. It's exactly why we see consumers intentionally choosing infused water over soft drinks, grabbing fiber-enriched cereals, or seeking out low-sodium sauces. Health isn't just a niche thing anymore. It is a primary filter for purchasing.
Okay, moving on to part two, tools to decode the market.
To actually pull these insights, we rely on a solid mix of quantitative and qualitative tools. Think of surveys as taking a broad poll of the market. They're cost-effective, they scale well, and they are great for measuring trends over time because they give you hard, statistical data. Focus groups, however, are a lot more like an intimate dinner party. They give you qualitative insights from small, targeted groups. This is where you uncover those unspoken needs, emotional responses, and subconscious opinions through real, interactive discussions.
Then you've got social media monitoring. This is where you track and analyze real-time conversations on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Honestly, it is the absolute best way to catch spontaneous customer feedback, track your brand mentions, and understand raw, unfiltered public sentiment towards your products or even your competitors as it happens.
Now, while social media tells you what people are saying, retail scan data tells you what they are actually doing. This is the objective truth. It captures real-time point-of-sale information. It's literally checking the receipts to see exactly what products sold, where, when, and how often. It tracks crucial metrics like sales volume, pricing trends, inventory turnover, basically everything a business needs to forecast demand and objectively plan their supply chain.
And if you want that 30,000-foot view, we rely on industry reports. Depending on your purpose, these things are the gold standard. If you're looking at market entry, they reveal critical barriers and opportunities. For benchmarking, they let you compare your brand right against industry standards. And for investment decisions, they help you evaluate long-term profitability and risk. They truly are the definitive source for strategic-level insights.
Which brings us to part three, what consumers want now.
Let's be real, today's market is incredibly demanding. Buyers don't just want health and wellness, they want it paired seamlessly with convenience. On top of that, they're demanding clean label products, meaning they expect to recognize every single ingredient they're eating, all while treating eco-friendly sustainability practices as absolutely non-negotiable. And bridging the whole shebang together is digital engagement, with e-commerce and influencers completely changing how food products are discovered, researched, and ultimately bought.
All right, part 4, crafting the product concept. This is where we build something real. Taking all of that raw, abstract data and forming a tangible product idea, that is where the magic happens, and it relies on 3 deeply connected steps. Step 1, you have to actively identify a true market gap or an unmet need based on your research. Step 2, define your exact target market and your unique selling proposition, like what actually makes you different. Step 3 is the crucial synergy. You must align that product completely with the consumer values we just talked about, ensuring it answers a demand that genuinely exists. Let's look at how this plays out in practice. Imagine our target market is health-conscious millennials looking for a functional snack or drink. To hit those demands, we select highly functional ingredients, maybe things like kenaf, moringa, and spirulina, which provide specific benefits like an energy boost and antioxidant support. To align with their eco-friendly values, the packaging concept uses a sleek, biodegradable design. Finally, the pricing strategy is set at mid-tier to premium, perfectly matching their willingness to pay for high-quality wellness. Every single choice here is deliberately backed by the market insights we gathered earlier.
And finally, part 5, prototyping and testing. Because here's the thing. A great concept will completely fail without flawless execution. The prototype journey is intensely rigorous, and it should be, because the stakes are high. It starts with meticulous formulation and testing. Next is sensory evaluation, getting the taste, aroma, and texture totally dialed in. Then comes the critical pass-fail of shelf life and safety testing to ensure stability. After that, you've got to prove strict compliance with complex food regulations. And finally, packaging trials to guarantee that your beautiful biodegradable design actually protects the food when it's sitting on a crowded store shelf.
And you're not just guessing if your prototype is working, right? You validate it. Just like we had tools for market research, we rely on highly specific tools for prototype testing to ensure absolute market readiness. It's honestly fascinating how scientific this final quality control check is. You use hedonic scale rating sheets to mathematically measure precisely how much testers like or dislike the product's sensory traits. You bring back those focus group discussions for deep, qualitative feedback on the physical prototype itself. You run a rigorous SWOT analysis, evaluating the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the actual concept. And you establish active consumer feedback loops. This level of meticulous testing is what separates a reckless, risky launch from a highly calculated success.
So, the crucial point to take away from this explainer is this. Effective product development dramatically reduces your risk and seriously increases your chances of success. Innovation in the food industry isn't about guessing. It is entirely driven by consumer insights. When you understand the trends, creatively apply them to a targeted concept, and rigorously test those prototypes, you have the true recipe for success.
As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Looking at the food market through this new analytical lens, what unmet need are you perfectly positioned to solve? The data is out there, just waiting for you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.